Good morning.
Oh,
Good morning, Dopey.
hid your name.
I'm eating my Lily's dark chocolate.
Say my name.
This thing is like the miracle of Hanukkah. This chocolate bar is lasting days.
Mm.
And they thought that the chocolate bar could only last one day, and now it's lasted 3.
Look at that.
You have a name for that holiday?
Yes, called Hanukkah.
Chocolate?
Chocolate.
Chocolaka?
Come
All right.
light,
Yeah, let me hear a little Hanukkah ditty.
light the menorah.
Keep going.
Well, you have to start like.
What Hanukkah songs do you know, Howie? It's July, so what Hanukkah songs do you know? What Hanukkah songs do you know?
Are there Hanukkah songs?
Yes.
Name one Hanukkah song.
That's Oh Hanukkah, Oh Hanukkah.
Yeah. Light a candle, light a candle, light a candle, something like that.
What other Hanukkah songs do you know?
I don't know if there are other Hanukkah songs.
I can think of 3 off the top of my head.
Go ahead. Well, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when this giant ready.
That's great.
Oh,
That's
dreidel,
great.
I shall play.
That's great.
I had a little dreidel, I made it out of clay.
That's great.
And are there any other words? Is there another verse to that song?
Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel,
Right.
I made it out of clay.
It's like a
and when
round.
it's dry and ready, oh, dreidel, I shall play. It has a funky bottom.
No.
Na 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 na.
We should write another,
Na 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 na. It falls and then I win.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Is there a third verse?
Yeah. I was on the beach. Somebody sucked
No.
my
I
cock.
don't think that's it. What
The
other?
next
You said
thing
3
I
songs.
knew,
So that's
I
dreidel.
had
What
to
else do you
take
have?
a stop, huh?
What else? Have yourself a merry little Hanukkah.
A very little.
know.
That's Pesach song.
Pesach.
No, there's Mia Malel. You know that song?
What?
It's a real.
Me and Malone down by the schoolyard.
You don't know this song.
No, go
I'm
ahead.
not gonna.
How's it
It's
go?
a Hebrew song. I'm not gonna sing Hebrew.
Never heard of it? Next.
Do you want me to sing it in Hebrew?
Nope.
You sure?
What's the next song?
Mao Tzor. That's a Passover song, isn't it?
Oh, boy. I don't even know that one.
You don't know Mao Tzor?
I feel like I'm out of touch. No. I don't remember these things.
It's a Hebrew song.
It sounds
You don't know
that way.
Mia Malel? How could you not know Mia Malel?
Me and Malone down by the schoolyard.
All right, enough. Enough with this Hanukkah.
How do we get into Hanukkah on
This
July
Hanukkah
5th?
whimsy on July
6th.
5th.
Wait, is it
No, it's July 5th.
July 5th. Oh, my God.
This is the worst Jewish-based daily reflection show.
In the day. All right, go ahead. July 5th.
Our human resources, as marshaled by the
HR.
will, were not sufficient. They failed
Dianu.
utterly. Every day is a day when we must carry the vision of God's will into all of our activities.
All of our activities. Every day is the day where we must carry a tradition. Is this
In all of God's activities.
day we will carry the tradition?
No, it's God's will.
All of God's will.
I pray that God will keep the czar far away from us.
Sure.
I hear talk of the weak-willed alcoholic, but I am one of the strongest-willed people on earth. I know that my incredible strength of will is not enough to save my life. My problem is not one of weakness, but rather of direction. When I, without falsely diminishing myself, accept my honest limitations and turn to God's guidance, my worst faults become my greatest assets. My strong will, rightly directed, keeps me working until the promises of the program become my daily reality.
All right. That's what you say, right?
When I, without falsely diminishing myself, accept my honest... Yeah. I think that's great.
Oh, boy.
I mean, the way I understand this thing is that God's will is everything that's meant to happen. Everything that's happening is God's will.
Okay.
The only... I mean, and I think this is so
You gotta
subject...
take the fucking stand off the microphone.
No, I like it.
All I hear is wind chimes in the background. Clink. I mean, what is going on? It's like we're making a toast.
God's will is a hard thing to interpretate.
That's not the right word.
Interpret.
Yes.
What's interpretate?
Some word that you just made up that sounds like interpret.
Interpret God's will is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
But what I've and I used to let that be something that kept me from trying to have a spiritual perspective that you don't know what God's will is. Like, I would say that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it God's will that I get a blowjob on the beach? You
It
know?
always goes back to that.
Might that be God's will for today?
Sure.
No, I mean, and what I've come up with is that God's will is to do everything devoid of personal, I don't know how to say this. If you can have ambition and have your ambition be fulfilled and have that be God's will, as long as nobody is being harmed, as long as you are not acting outside of spiritual principles, you're acting aligned with God's will. And the time that you muck up God's will is when you act selfishly or self-centeredly. And like, that's why me getting a blowjob on the beach from anyone besides my partner would not be God's will.
Okay.
Because then I would be being dishonest to my partner.
Sure.
So God's will has my partner blowing me on the beach.
Yes.
But it would not be God's will if somebody else did.
So we should tell her that.
Yeah, I don't think she's.
So
Gonna,
you- so
I don't
you-
think she's going to go for it.
Oh, well, you could try. So this is, you always say, do the next right thing.
I do.
Right.
And
So
actually,
you're
came
faced
up,
with that
Do you know I
decision.
came up with that phrase?
That's not in the book?
No, it's mine.
I feel like that should be in the book.
No, it's in
Why
the
don't
book.
you ask if they could add that?
It's in the book. I'm just joking. That's not mine.
Do the next right thing, yeah. So anytime you have a decision to make, you know the right decision, do the right thing. That's what I tell my kids. You know what the right decision is. Don't fuck around and ask me.
Well, right. Sometimes
supposed to
you know what you want, and you know it's not the right decision.
Right.
You know it's not the right choice.
Don't do
and
that.
I've had a lifetime of making those decisions
Damn
because
right.
I wanted to.
Damn right.
And that's when you're standing in the way of quote unquote God's will. So when I, without falsely diminishing myself, accept my honest limitations and turn to God's guidance, my worst faults become my greatest assets. Because you're willing to show that side of yourself and be humbled and allow the right thing to happen.
I love it.
All right,
That's-
great.
That's a good one.
Stay strong, Dopey Nation.
And
And
toodles.
fucking toodles for Chris.
Dopey, I'm face down on the floor. Dopey, please sir, can I have some more? Dopey,